Hello, everyone. Karen Glasser here, and welcome to the Author Spotlight interviews with some of the best selling authors from all around the world. Today's show is sponsored by the Online Authors Office, a platform for aspiring writers who seek that quantum leap to marketing their books. Now, make sure you say hi in the comments and tell us where you're tuning in from. I love to see where everybody watches this show. Today, I am welcoming back international best-selling author and founder of the Online Authors Office, Pashmina P. Her first book, Cappuccino Chronicles, received worldwide renown and a steadily growing readership and was endorsed by a former news anchor from CNN and CNBC. While working on her second book, I'm just going to hold it up, Red Lipstick Never Hurt Anyone, she followed her dream to creating a global community. That online network is now known as the Online Network, the Online Offers Office. So without further ado, Pashmina, welcome to the show.
Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm so honored and privileged to be back here with you.
Well, the privilege and honor is with me. I'm just really happy that you're back. I know you came on when you had Cappuccino Chronicles, and we did a whole show on that. And I've been waiting with bated breath to bring you back on. So welcome back to the show. So just to kind of get going here, tell us a little bit about yourself, what your story is. You've lived all around the world. Tell us about all of that.
Well, actually, the Red Lipstick Never Hurt Anyone is actually my fifth book because the Cappuccino Chronicles is a trilogy, and then there was my children's book called What is a Goopsie, and then this book, which is kind of like my business card. It's where I wanted to give my audience all my secrets away so that they could have somewhere to go to. Being a global resident, if you want, or part of a global community, it's kind of difficult to be on Zoom 24 hours a day.
Yes.
And I'm a working mom. I have two beautiful children, so I needed to really maximize my time. So what I did was create this book so that all the answers were, all the questions were answered for my community, so that they wouldn't have to feel like I wasn't giving them enough attention. And in accordance with the book, we created a course. My marketing manager and I created a course that goes with the book where people can follow step-by-step guidelines on how to publish and market your book.
Right. And we'll talk a lot about that as we get into that, the program and all of that. Tell us a little bit, though, about your background. You recently moved. You're no longer living where, when I first met you, you were in, where were you?
I was in Bangkok, yeah.
And you're not in Bangkok anymore. Where are you right now?
I moved to the south of Thailand, to Phuket, which is really island life. And it really has been so wonderful to be here because it's given me space and time to actually be in nature and write. And I really feel that being out of the hustle and the bustle of the city has given me some kind of calmness to actually sit and write. My sixth book is coming out, Am I the One, in 2023, which is a collection of 9 short stories. And I'm hoping that the same with the Cappuccino Chronicles, that will be made into some kind of other medium, maybe TV or movie or something.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. I mean, you're clearly a go-getter. You clearly just hit the floor running. You're never satisfied with just the status quo. And I know that. I know that about you, which I think is really kind of cool. So I apologize. It was the 5th book. So what year did you write your first book?
2016, which was the trilogy. I think I met you in 2017 or 18.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, because that's when all 3 books had been completed in the trilogy. And it's at the moment, it's like it's a labor of love. I'm rebranding it and putting it under the OAO as the publisher. And I'm moving towards getting an option agreement for it to be in a TV series.
I am so excited for you. I don't even know how you sit still. I'd be all over the place getting excited about it. Now, we called the show Red Lipstick Never Hurt Anyone. It's a great title. It's a great title for your book. It's a great title. It's the KISS whole thing with the KISS program. And it's during that time when you were writing this book that the Online Authors Office came to life. I mean, it really came to life at that part. So let's talk about this global community, because it really is global. I mean, I'm here in the States, but you have people everywhere. What is it like having a global community? That's very unusual.
Well, we never sleep. The online author's office is always awake. Somebody's always there. I've got, project managers in, the States, in Canada, in the UK, even in Nairobi. We're touching like different continents all over. And it feels very like the world has become so small.
Yeah.
The intention of the online author's office was never to actually be fully online. And it became that way when COVID happened.
Wow,
So
you're kidding. I
yeah,
didn't know that. Okay.
yeah. I mean, I fell in love with this idea of being a digital nomad where I could be anywhere in the world and take my computer and then go and visit my client, which
Right.
is what I was doing in
Right.
2016. I mean, we had traveling, storytelling where we had book signings in Hong Kong, we had one in Canada, we had one in Thailand. We were just traveling all together, and then COVID hit and we were forced to be online. So it was never my intention to be fully online. So now that the world is slowly opening up, get ready, Karen. I'm going to come and visit you
Hey,
soon
I've
too.
got a guest house waiting for you here.
I
It's
love
so
it.
interesting. It's so interesting that you're saying it never was meant to be all online, and yet you were prepared for it. I mean, you really were prepared for it. It may not seem like it. I mean, what was the name of the organization called something different than online? No.
No.
You were prepared for that. And I'm just going to point that out. You were ahead of the game. And I would venture to guess that the fact that you were able to go online as quickly and as easily as you did, it probably gave you a step up faster. And you can thank the crazy 2 years that we had that forced you to do that. I'm just making an observation.
I mean,
So,
I've met people from all over the world being online,
mhm,
and they feel like my family. Like being
right,
with you here, I feel so comfortable. I feel like I'm sitting in your living room or you're
nice.
sitting here in my office.
Yeah.
And it's really important to create these connections. But for me, because my background, or as somebody used to say, my past life, I was a theater arts teacher,
Hmm.
the head of the visual and performing arts department at an international school in Bangkok. I feel that the human connection is what really keeps us alive.
Agreed.
Um,
100%.
so I'm ready. I'm ready to like go back to the intention of what the online author's office was really all about.
I love that. I love that. And when you come to visit, because you will, we have a room waiting for you over
Thank
here.
you. And when you come visit me here, we have a room waiting for you too as
When
well.
and if I ever get on a plane again to go anywhere, but yes, I would love that. Thank you for the thank you for the invitation. If you're just tuning in, we are talking to Pashmina P, the founder of the Online Authors Office. We're talking about her books, and we're going to be talking about right now her KISS program. So, what is it, and who is it for?
Okay, so if you know me well, and Karen, I think I've known you for a number of years, so you
Yes,
know that I always never show up without my red lipstick. I mean,
I know
we're on different time zones here. It's 7:30 in the morning here, and yep, and that's me.
that.
That's my signature. I mean, I won't go anywhere, even if I don't have any other eye makeup or other makeup on. I always go out with a little bit of red lipstick on.
Mhm.
So the KISS course is called Keep It Short and Spectacular, because it is something that I want writers who need the information in a very succinct kind of way, and very like not long and drawn out, because we live in a society right now where everything is fast and
Mhm.
everything is instant. So
Right.
my course runs over 8 modules and is connected with the book, and each module is very simple. It's very short, it's very simple, and basically it goes through some of the chapters, and some of the chapters combined together, and there's exercise
I was
pages
just going to
inside
say
the
that
book.
there's exercise pages in here. I was trying to see if I could find some. I mean, you've got all sorts of things in here
Yes.
how to create, which is fabulous. Fabulous.
Yeah. So we really want our authors who are just, stepping into it and wondering what is this whole thing all about, to actually physically write in the book, look at the modules, and create some kind of momentum for themselves. Because it's very important for a writer to write. And I keep saying this on all interviews, you need discipline.
Yeah.
And when I lacked discipline in my writing, I was all over the place. So I really wanted to give that wisdom and those ideas to upcoming authors, that
Right.
you need to do these exercises in order to move
Right.
to the next step.
So true. So true. And I think discipline is a great word. So many of us don't have that discipline. I don't think it's just writing books. I think
Yeah.
it's business, it's family. We don't have that discipline. And if you can discover that and you can nurture that, the whole world opens up. It's your oyster. So why do you do this? Why are you doing this? I mean, you could do almost anything. You could be writing your books and traveling the world and doing interviews. Why are you helping other people? Why is this so important to you?
I think I have this thing inside me where I want to show my children that empathy and gratitude and service is what makes you a whole human. Um, and meeting people has been one of my best pleasures. I love meeting people. I mean, and I love learning from other people. So as much as people learn from me, I learn from them. And I really do believe that learning is endless. I'm never going to stop learning. I'm never going to stop meeting people. And I do it because it gives me a sense of joy, and a sense of setting an example. I mean, I could do anything. I could be in the corporate world. I could still be a teacher. But what I want is for my children to see that the world is really their oyster. And they can do it. They can actually be who they want to be. I mean, just thinking about my visions and what I want for the future, my eldest, she wants to be a New York Times bestseller. She's going to study, politics and journalism. The youngest one wants to be an actor in New York and open up her own theater and a bookstore. And I'm like, these are all what my dreams that I'm kind of like, imparting, and they're saying it
Right.
by themselves. So it's for them. It's really for them.
I've seen pictures of you with your daughters. I mean, you're such a role model for them, and they
Thank
clearly
you.
adore you. And I think it's really great what you're doing. And what message do you have to people that are considering becoming a author? They not quite sure. What is that message that you want to get out to the heretofore writers that have not quite taken that jump?
I really noticed that a lot of writers, it's the fear factor. They're so
Yes.
scared of so many things, And my main thing in this book is to teach them to refuse to give up on themselves.
Yeah.
Because once they find that internal feeling of who they want to be and what they want to be, it's just full speed ahead. Of course, we all go through the, oh my gosh, what's going on? Am I doing the right thing? Should I go back to corporate? Should I go back to teaching? Should I do something else? Should I go into baking?
Right.
Whatever it is,
Right. Whatever
But
you're passionate,
yeah,
find.
but my motto is like, refuse to give up on yourself, because you're the only one that is going to push yourself forward. Of course, having a great, support system helps. But at the end of the day, if there's nobody there for you, you only have yourself.
Right. And I think that's really important. I think that's kind of what we're missing in our world right now is we're alone. We are isolated. We are so many things. So I think it's important. And that kind of leads into my next thing. You say refuse to give up on yourself. Now you met with the Dalai Lama.
Yes.
I want to hear
Wow.
about that. That's amazing. And I'm jelly. So how was that? First of all, how did that come about and what was it like?
Well, I was collaborating with another author, and we were just collaborating with each other, and I helped her to write her book. And she said to me, I've been given the opportunity to meet the Dalai Lama. Would you like to come with me? And I was like, get out of here. Like, is this true? Right. Like, really? And she said, yes, we've been, offered the opportunity to present our books to him because he's looking for literary works and like looking for people who are writers. And I said, of course. And she said, you can bring one person with you. So it was like a huge discussion in my family. Who's Pashmina going to bring? So, my husband wanted to go, my daughters wanted to go. And so I thought, I'm going to bring my mom. She gave birth to me. And I mean, she cried when I said, okay, mom, you're coming with me.
Wow.
And I have a picture of it in my book where she's
You thank
hugging
her.
me.
You thank
Yes.
your mom though you actually thank your mom. I haven't gotten through the whole book yet, but you actually thank your mom. Obviously your mom is important and I want to touch on that. So you took your mom.
Yep. And it was just the most profound experience. he was talking to us as a group, and I presented my book to him, and he said, "What is this about?" And I told him it's about women at a coffee shop, just from their 20s, 40s, and 60s. And he couldn't stop laughing. Like, he has a great sense of humor, and he's a very worldly human being. And he said, "Is there any violence in here?" And I said, no, it's just, very fun loving. And he said, "Okay, I'm going to give it to one of my apprentices to read." And at the end of it, we were just talking and brainstorming, and he put his hand on my head and he said, "Pashmina, do good and be good." And I was like, "Okay, what does that mean?" And he said, "Just remember that, do good and be good." And my mother always says that to me now, "Do good, be good." Like, if she sees me going off the rails somewhere, she's like, "Remember what he said." And I remember turning around as I left, the actual, meeting with him. And my mom was holding his hand and she was crying so much. And he said, "Don't cry. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. And you are a good mom. Everything is okay." And she kissed him on his hand over here, and then we had to go because there was thousands of people
Right.
waiting to see him.
Right.
And my mom was just so overwhelmed by that meeting, and to be in the presence of someone so peaceful and so funny, and just, he's a global citizen too.
Right.
Just, my heart was just so full, and like, I never felt like that in my life ever.
So that experience clearly was life altering in many
Yes.
respects, right? Um, what would you, if you were just going to say one message other than do good and be good, which I actually had written down, you talk about it being a ripple effect.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. Let's let our audience know what you mean by that and why working together and being together is so important.
I really believe that we're all here for the same reason. It doesn't matter, where you're from or who you are, if you're what man, woman, gay, transgender, whatever you are,
Right.
that we are all part of a collective.
Right.
It's all part of this light that we should be honing in on, which comes from our heart. And when we start to think with a heart and brain coherence, like connecting the two together, we understand that why we're here, that we're all in this together, no matter what.
So I always like to ask the authors to come on the show, and I think I know what your answer is going to be. Do you ever get writer's block? Is
Oh,
there
yeah.
such a thing in your, world? Do you like, oh gosh, I can't even think what my next words are going to be because you have a book coming out. So do you get writer's block?
Yes, I do.
What do
And
you
I
do?
talk about it in this book. Like, the best thing to do is to journal. I have, lined pages in here as well where people can go and do the exercises. But I really believe that like, one example I give is one of my characters in Cappuccino Chronicles. I had to write a 4-page conversation between her and her friend.
Ah,
And I was thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to write about? So what I did was I did something fun. I just decided that she was going to write a shopping list, what she was going to write to go to the supermarket. So actually getting into the psyche of her and having a little fun without being so serious about this
wow.
conversation. And I sent it over to my editor, and she's like, "Okay, do this exercise. And what is it?" And I said, "So the shopping list was cigarettes, potato chips, a bottle of wine, and chocolate." And she's like, "Oh my God, now do you see what kind of character this is? Like, what about like lettuce and bread?" I'm like, "She's not thinking about that." And she's like, "Okay, there you go.
There you go.
There
Wow.
you go." And I just thought, okay, something so simple as a shopping list got me going into what she was talking about with her friend.
So these are the kind of tips and the kind of things that you teach your authors, the people that
Yeah.
are writing and doing all of this. We've talked about the KISS program, and I want them to know how they can go find out more about it. So they can go to and visit you on the web at
Yep.
pashmina-p.com. When they get there, they can find the KISS program. They can find all sorts of things over there. What We'll talk about KISS again for a second, but you also have your big program, your master's program.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so the KISS program is like, I only have 3 programs. The KISS program, which is a total online program with accompanied with the book, and of course you get videos and modules and little tips here and there, and it's just to start dabbling your feet. Then I have the VIP author program, which is the
Mhm.
second tier, where you have 6 people on the team with you plus me, getting your book together and making sure that it's published and ready to be uploaded. And then we have the Master Elite Author Program, where it's a really extensive program. There's some ghost writing in there if you need it. It's media, it's marketing, getting you on New York Weekly, getting you on New York Times Billboard, which I did as well in November last year. So it's a really extensive course where the author is building a brand. So the author might have more than just a book. They might have more wisdom to impart. So it's a very extensive program, and both of those are over 1 year. But for our Master Elite authors, the ones who sign up for the higher tier program, this year in 2022, we are offering them 6 months extra for free when they sign on with that.
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
something for everyone, and I
Yes.
guess in every price range as well. So if you're watching this and you're saying, "Oh, I can't afford this, I can't do it," there's a program for you there. And I think that's really the message, is that you can come in on the entry level, the KISS program, and read the book and get the tips and the things from this amazing woman right here.
Mhm.
Or if you're ready to take the next step, you've got VIP and then you've got Masters, which I think it's very clean. On the site. I love your site. It's very clean. You know where to find things. So guys, when you go there, you're going to be able to find all of these programs as well. I know that you're on Instagram, so they can find you at Pash_online_authors_office. You'll find you there. And they can find you on Facebook. Just search for Pashmina Pash. I call you Pashmina P, but that's just me. Any last minute thoughts, anything that you want to make sure that our audience takes away from this conversation?
Everybody is a storyteller. We were born to storytell, and we are part of a story. We are in a story. We tell stories. We're part of a collective. So when someone tells you that you can't write or you don't have a story, don't ever believe them, because we were all given this gift to use our brain to be able to inspire through storytelling. And storytelling is the key for families, for legacy, for ancestry, for marketing, for news. It's there all over all the time. So believe that you're the natural born storyteller. And that's the first module that we talk about in the KISS course. Be the natural born storyteller.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Hey guys, I want to make sure you check out my website at karenglasser.com. You can find out how you can work with me. Maybe come on the show. Maybe you want to have a podcast. You never know. And for those of you who want to follow me on social media, I'm everywhere. Just look for Karen Glasser on every single social media. You'll find me over there between Pinterest and, Instagram and TikTok. I'm on TikTok now, and YouTube and all that stuff. So make sure you check us out. Thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for getting up early to be on the show today. I love that. I'm normally the one that gets up at 4 a.m. and, does this. So thank you for doing that. And I want to thank our audience. We know that you have a choice as to where you spend your time, and you chose to spend it with Pashmina and me today. We are eternally grateful. Go out, give somebody an awesome day, and we'll see you next time on the Author Spotlight.